Hey y'all, Brian Thacker, Natural Self Yoga again. This workout's going to be a core workout. The core is the most important part to doing all these challenging poses, especially inversions. It holds all the body together. Now we're not Jersey Shore, so we're not in the situation looking for six-packs of abs. Now you might get the six-pack abs, but the purpose for a yogi to strengthen the core is so that we can do these challenging poses. Inversions, you can't do them if your core isn't strong, holding the body together. A handstand is a lot easier if you get your core strong. And all the other poses are easier too. So, first off, we'll start off in a downward facing dog. Downward facing dog is basically the home base for any vinyasa flow class. It's really good for opening up the entire backside of the body. You spread your fingers wide, getting as long of a stance as you can, lifting your hips up and back behind you. And it builds a lot of strength in the shoulders without even knowing it. So whenever you're ready to go up in a handstand, you'll already have that strength built up. But from here, for our core workout, the first thing that we'll do is we'll inhale, we'll roll forward into a plank pose. We want to have a Tadasana feeling. If you know what Tadasana is, it's a mountain pose. When you're standing straight up and down, you want to be able to tuck your tail, lifting the pit of the abdomen, shoulders away from the ears and down the back, spreading the fingers wide, pressing back through the heels. That's going to help to get the strength, the stability, and this is a huge core pose. One of the best core poses that you can do. You're not really doing much, you're just sitting here. Something other than your sit-ups, and it really won't injure your spine or your low back. It's really good for you. So you're lengthening out of the crown of your head, belly to spine, supporting that low back, and you're breathing deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And you stay here for 10 or 15 breaths, and then you press back up into your downward facing dog. Give yourself a little bit of a rest in the core, lengthening the spine again, lifting the hips up and back behind you. Lengthen the hips up and back, and that lengthens the spine. And it opens up the back of the body. Inhale, rolling forward into plank again. Steady breath. Now we're going to work on that side core. So you bring your heels and toes together in the back. The left hand comes down to the center of the mat. Again, spread the fingers wide. You want the hand to be in front of the shoulder so that when you roll over onto the left side, you can lift this right hand up, and your arm is integrated back into its shoulder socket, so there's not as much stress there. So you lift your hips high. Okay, some people sag their hips down, and this is not what you want. You want to lift your hips up. Now, if you're new to this and just building up, you can always bring this bottom knee down. This is a perfect variation, or you can bring this top foot forward, halfway forward. But you always want to lift those hips, lean the head back. It's something that I have to work on because I always forget about it, what my head's doing in space. It just kind of flops around. But for the core, you want to stay up, steady breath. There's a lot of variations that you can do here. You can do tree pose. You can grab the toe. If your hips are open, okay, this is just kind of a fancy thing that you do. It's not any more important than this. Steady breath. In through the nose and out through the nose, lengthening the spine. And then bring the left hand down, rolling the heels over bring the right hand down. And I'm not much of a theater person. I know you're not supposed to turn your back to the camera. My back's to the camera, I understand. But you lift your hips. Again, the bottom knee can be down or lifted. The top foot can be halfway forward. Eventually you want to work your way up. You pull the top of that top foot back towards you. The outside of that top foot comes back towards you. You pull the toes back in towards your nose as well. Taking deep, steady breath, lengthening through the spine. Your shoulder is integrated, your arm is integrated into the shoulder sockets. Steady breath, building strength there. Taking some deep breaths here. Bringing that left hand down, lifting up and back into your downward facing dog. Lengthening that spine again. Deep breaths in and out. Now you want to lift up, coming forward, bending the knees, stepping all the way to the top, sinking down into Navasana. One of my favorite poses for the core. Usually we'll do this towards the middle or the end of class. But you want to lift up, shoulders away from the ears, shoulder blades down the back. You want your feet with your toes spread wide. Your knees are going to be straight. Or, if you have low back issues, I don't recommend doing this if you have low back issues. So just be gentle with yourself. But you can bend your knees if you need to. You can bring your hands back behind your knees. Your toes can be down. Your hands can be back behind you. Steady breath. If you're shaking, that's normal. Okay? Once you build up the strength, you won't shake as much. You can do a lot of different variations. variations from here. You can roll over to the right hip, hands come over to the left. And again, steady breath. That's fine, as sometimes I get lazy and punch over, but it's really all core. You want to lift up and out of that low back, back to the center, hands come over to the right side, coming over to the left hip. Again, all these variations are just kind of for fun. Steady breath. And if you do this every day, again, it takes 5 minutes or whatever to do this, you're going to have a really strong core and you're going to be able to do all sorts of cool stuff. Lowering one leg, lifting it up, lowering the other leg, lifting it up. You want the toes about the same level as your eyes. Rolling down halfway, Ardha Navasana. Exhale, coming up. Inhale down. Exhale up. I've taken classes where we've done 100 of these. You don't have to. If you have low back problems, I definitely don't recommend it. And then bending your knees, hugging them into your chest, rocking back and forth, taking some deep breaths. Okay, so that's a good core workout. You just want to have 5 minutes, you just want to work on your core. You can do that anywhere. You don't need any extra equipment. You don't need an instructor or anything. And you're not going to really injure yourself other than if you have low back issues. So just bring awareness into that. You're going to strengthen your core. You're going to be able to do all these other poses really well. You're going to lessen your chances of having back issues if you do these core poses. And, you know, you can do it when you're watching TV. You can do them when you're waiting for somebody else, just sitting there. You don't even need a mat. You don't need any equipment. Just sit there and do it. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. See you really soon.